Hello everybody and welcome back to Drawsome. And today we're going to be drawing something very near and dear to my heart. Antlers. Don't laugh, that was not a funny joke. It really wasn't. So anyway, we're going to draw deer antlers. So, I've got some brought up on my computer and there's so many different kinds depending on the animal. So I think it's something that some people struggle with when they want to draw, you know, an elk or a deer or a moose or some type of, you know, something that has antlers, even a jackrabbit. Some people don't know where to begin when it comes to their shape and that sort of thing. So we're going to try and demystify, if you will, the antlers. So let's see, what have we got here? Goodness gracious. Okay, let's start with just the one side, because they normally will mirror each other on the head of a deer or whatever animal you're drawing. Normally. Not always. But they're very branch-like, and so you have to but they don't continue on with like little branches coming off, but they will have like little spiky things that will come off of them. And you have to remember, which it can be difficult to remember, that you do have to try and mirror them. And so if the one side looks this way, and you'll have, okay, we're not going to try and get into too much detail when it comes to deer, but they sit just above the ears, so there'd be like the top of the deer's head. And then it would mirror the other side. Nothing there. Again, not all deer will mirror, and the reason being is for every year they will get a new horn, you know, a new offshoot. So this one would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 point buck. That'd be a trophy. And I'm sorry, anybody who's not into hunting. Oh goodness. And then this side of their face. Like so. Big doe eyes. Huge noses. But again, we're not here for the whole face thing. We're here just for this part. So if I'm not clear on this, I mean, you try to mirror the one side with the other, and then because they're made out of a bone, you want to try to put in some kind of texture that would resemble dried bone, which is very, like, has long, like, I don't know what you'd call them. It's just a line. They're almost like scratches, but they go all the way around the horn, or not horn, antler. So, and then you'd want a shade underneath to show that they're round. Like so. And I mean, if you don't live anywhere there's deer, I'm so sorry. They are beautiful creatures. They really are. Unless you're a motorist, and then they're just a very big hassle because they will jump out in front of your car with a quickness. And you do not want to hit one. Trust me. I've done it. And people have been killed by accidentally hitting these things. These antlers have been known to go through car windows. And they will definitely mess you up if you get caught in the middle of the woods and they're in rut, which means that they're looking for the ladies. So, antlers. Now these are deer antlers. Now, I want to try and find some moose, because moose are very interesting looking. Very kind of pan shaped. See if I can find any. Oh, there's some. Okay. So moose antlers, because they're a different species, are going to. Do I am frame here? Okay. I never know. They have very much the same type of construction where they do mirror each other, but they're much wider. So we're going to draw in and you see how wide this is in comparison to this. This would be considered a moose antler because they are shaped very, very different. Still made out of the same material, which is like a bone. But what's interesting is that deer and moose every year will shed these. And if you're out walking in the woods, you can sometimes just find them laying around. And this is how moose are shaped. And it has very much of a like indentation here where there's almost like a scoop. Still have the little scratch marks, which a lot of these little scratch marks are also from them trying to take the what's called velvet. When their horns, antlers grow back in, they're covered with this very fine, it's like fluffy, almost like a velvet. And then they will take their antlers and scratch up against trees right above rut season, which is again when they're looking for the ladies, and scratch all that velvet off until it's just antler showing. So there's one. So we would again mirror that. And it's okay if they're not perfect, because you can see I already messed that one up. And they don't have to be perfect, but you want to try and get them as close as you can. Like so. Because and what's interesting too is every time the antlers grow back, it's always in the same shape. So it must be something in their DNA that dictates what their antlers look like. Now, I'm no deer expert, not by a long shot, but I've always, for some reason, lived somewhere where there's deer, so you kind of learn this stuff, especially if you have anybody who likes to hunt. If you know, are related to anybody who likes to hunt. So there would be moose. But yeah, antlers. Let's see what else we got for antlers. There's all little ones, big ones. That's kind of pretty. I like this one. Can everybody see okay? Yeah, okay. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so. Like I said, they're always different according to, depending on the animal that they're coming off of. I had a friend a long time ago who had a pet deer. This was when I lived in Arkansas, and she loved this deer. He was amazing. He was beautiful too. He was very large, and his and they're called a rack, was huge. I was shocked how big they were. And I'm like, aren't you afraid he's going to like gore you at some point? She goes, oh no, he would never do that unless it's in rut season. I was like, right, that makes sense. But yeah, he got, every year he would shed his antlers, you know, and she would go out there and pick them up, and she had them all lined up along the wall up above in their living room, going from little tiny ones, and then every year you could just see how they would get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I thought, boy, that's cool that she kept almost like a record of how old he was just by looking at his antlers. So, I hope that y'all are drawing along with me and learning how to draw antlers. Get rid of that little line there, because that's not needed. There we go. And also, I want to let everybody know also, a little sad news, but Lori Faye Art will no longer be doing Drawsome with me. It's just going to be little old me from now on. This will be her last week, which saddens me greatly, but I know she's moving on to bigger and better things. And I wish her all the best, because she's still my sis. And I know she's doing great on her channel. She really is. I mean, she's got a bunch of new subscribers, and she's just going great gangbusters. And right now she's taking part in the, what is it, Worldwide Watercolor Month. So she's doing a watercolor picture every day of all of July. So you guys got to go check that out, because oh my gosh, she is just tearing it up. Let me tell you, she's doing great, and I'm so proud of her. So go check her out, please. You will be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, here's our antlers. We've got deer antlers and moose antlers, and this pretty little thing, just little flowers and such. Just a little fun little thing here with some roses and leaves. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I definitely did. I learned a little bit about deer and things I didn't know. So yeah, draw me some antlers. Make sure you put it up on Facebook, or not Facebook. Who uses Facebook? Instagram with the hashtag Drawsome Squad, and I will try and make sure to feature you in my next week's video, just like these folks. I really do appreciate you following along with me, y'all, and I love you bunches. Bye.